to Behind the Lens. I am Greer Howard.
And I am Beth Keener. We're your hosts.
And we have a very special episode for you today. Our very own Beth Keener just came off The Walking Dead as Annie.
Seriously.
It happened. So we're turning the tables today. Normally Beth and I are interviewing someone together.
Right.
But Beth, if you will allow me, I want to interview you
about
today.
all things Walking Dead.
But first, make sure that you stick around to the end of the video because we're going to be giving away some premiere passes to a movie right here in Atlanta that's coming up next week. So you definitely want to stick around. Annie was your character.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about Annie and maybe some of her backstory that maybe some of the viewers wouldn't have known.
She's just an Alexandrian who volunteered for this run, who wanted to go out and help. And clearly, if you couldn't tell from the show, she's got some cojones. Mm-hmm. She's willing to like put in the time.
I have to say, she was tough.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people from Alexandria really come across that way. So how do you think she kind of, became tough like that? Where did that come from?
I was thinking about that, and sometimes I feel like some people are just naturally tough. And she has still lived in this sheltered world. What we don't know about Annie is, did they find her on a run? Did they go out and recruit people? Was she one of those people who had seen a little bit of the apocalypse? So I'd like to think so, because she really could and wasn't afraid to handle a gun. But clearly you could see a little bit of fear as well with Annie when some of these high tension situations were going down.
The first day you show up on set, who do you meet? What's it like?
Girl, okay. So when I first got there, we all got ready, and two of my buddies from Atlanta actually got cast as part of this Alexandrian crew. So we were all, dude, pinching ourselves. Can you believe we're here? This is amazing. And then when we got on set, one of the first people to walk up to me and say hi was Andrew Lincoln. And he was like, hey, I'm Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Thank you for being here. Just so lovely.
I would have been goo-goo-eyed.
Yes, yes.
You held it together, obviously.
Well, and too, Ethan Embry was there, which was, from my high school years, the coolest thing ever. And I was geeking out that day.
Now let's talk about your epic trip.
Oh, girl.
What did you trip on, and at that moment did you just know, like, oh man,
it looks like
this is not good?
Knowing that you're going to trip and fall, there's some anxiety involved in it, because you're like, well, am I going to really hurt myself? How am I going to do it? And what I remember is the first couple times falling, like, or then when you hurt yourself, you're like, ouch! Because if you stub your toe, I know I do, I'll kick something or hurt myself and I'll be like, ouch!
And you're pretty committed. I know that you're a pretty committed actress when you're acting. So did you actually get hurt? Any bumps and bruises?
Well, yes. Oh, girl, did I. I keep saying, oh, girl. There's so many oh, girl moments with this show. But, actually the fall on the sidewalk was extremely difficult. I got some scrapes in that initial trip, but the fall, we probably did that 15 times, and I had gotten a knee pad, but I guess I didn't realize that I was going to be falling on my hip repeatedly, and I had a dagger, and you just hit the pavement. Ow, that kind of hurt. You hit the pavement. And then finally, I landed square on my dagger, which I love the fact that I got to carry a dagger around, but that metal just kind of dug in. And
that hurt.
I had a really, really serious bruise. But at that point, I went to Monty, who does stunts, and he was like, you should have asked me for a hip pad a long time ago, girl. We don't want you walking around with like bruises and cuts and scrapes. Like, let us take care of you.
Well, speaking of that fall, I love that you went down to blazing. You were guns a-blazing. You were fighting till the end.
Yeah.
But then, you get eaten pretty good. And there's a lot of walkers on top of you. So tell me a little bit about that experience.
That was crazy too. The anxiety of, there's so much involved with filming that is all about the camera, and so you still have to be so aware of the other actors in the scene, where you're supposed to land, run out the door, run fast enough to escape the zombies, slow enough to let the group get away from you, trip, and then trip again, but you have to keep tripping at the same spot, so you fall at the same spot. But the zombies were frightening, and there was anxiety with that.
Yes.
And then when they land on you, a couple of stunt guys were the first people to fall on me so that they could protect my body. But it was really interesting having grown adult people
like on
with their mouths. Oh my God. Nom. And I remember they told me not to talk at one point, and so the other lines could be clean. And the zombies were on me, and they were literally like not like silently munching me. They were seriously like nah, nah, nah. So I could feel like there's a guy out. Yes. You know, you're not really used to multiple mouths on you at the same time.
And I have to say, when that scene happened, unfortunately, your buddy Glenn was not there, because Glenn was really the one that was really helping you along the way the whole time. And I don't know about any of you out there, but I was a little jealous because, you got to hang on to Glenn for a pretty long time. So what was that like?
Great. It was funny, those initial conversations with Steven, like, hey, okay, so how old are you? Or like, are you married? And because we were like this the whole time. And he had to support. He was like, just put your body weight on me. Just put your body weight on me. And he really did want to help me walk, but I just remember him grabbing my belt because that was the best way for him to hold on. And every take I had like a wedgie front to back, just a full on front to back wedgie. And then I had to be like, excuse me guys, boop, 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 gotta get it out.
And while we're talking about Glenn, it was a big episode, and I know that right now, when we're filming this, we don't know actually what is happening to Glenn.
Right.
Any spoilers you could give us? Anything?
No, I wish I could, but actually they keep everything under wraps, so we don't know anything. We're just kind of there. And
I'm not ready. I'm gonna just say I'm not ready for Glenn to go, and
I don't think
really
anyone is.
I'm not ready. Another really fun thing that happened is you were actually the hottest woman of the day. Like, hello, I'm going day. Hottest woman of the year. And what website was that?
Kings of the Flat Screen. My husband found that, and he died, and then I died, and then my sister got a hold of it, and then of course her posting that, it just went. I feel like everyone from my past has just really kind of jumped on board with this experience. I didn't just feel hot. I felt like hot that day.
Girl, where you are. Well, Beth, thank you so much for letting me interview you today. Normally, Beth and I are on the same side of the lens.
But it's fun.
Together, but we had to just take this opportunity and sit down with you and just learn what this experience is like. So thank you for taking that time.
It's been
Love
fun.
my girl, Annie. And for our viewers, thank you for watching Behind the Lens. And we have something very exciting.
Oh yes,
yes,
we do.
We have 30. We're giving away 30 tickets. Actually, 2 sets of tickets.
Right. So 30 people can win, and you get a +1.
Yes.
To the screening of Suffragette.
Suffragette. We actually got to see it. It was a great movie. It's about the beginning stages of the women's suffrage movement.
Yes.
And Carey Mulligan is in it. Meryl Streep has a little cameo. Highly recommend it.
Yes.
And if you want to go, it's Tuesday, November 3rd, right around the corner, 7:30 p.m. at Terra Cinemas, which is on Cheshire Bridge, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And Beth, how can they get the tickets?
All right, here's what we need from you. If you want to go and check out this elite screening, share our video on Twitter, on Facebook, or leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought about the interview, or hey, I want some tickets. And then we will make sure your name is on the list, and you guys, we will let you know when you've won. Yay! It's gonna be fun. And it's a great night out. So take a date, take your mom, she'd appreciate it.
All right, guys, well, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Behind the Lens. I'm Greer Howard.
I'm
Beth
Keener.
Who is Annie on The Walking Dead, and we will see you very soon.